Hey everybody, Brain here with Nutrition First Coaching, and in today's video, we're wrapping up our Mindset Over Macros series, and we're going to talk about how to move yourself towards a growth mindset. All the different things that I basically filled up an entire whiteboard with and could have written more about that can move you towards that growth mindset. All the different things you can use that will give you those tools, give you those abilities. So let's get into learning how to become growth minded. All right, this is our last video on mindset over macros, and let's learn how to develop a growth mindset. Now, I basically started running out of whiteboard space here, so I'm just going to start rolling through these. The first one being we've created awareness around our mindset. First, we learned what a growth versus a fixed mindset was. Then we started to learn how to recognize the language, maybe the thoughts that lead to the language that lead to the habits and behaviors of who we are, having a fixed versus a growth mindset. And then we thought about like what domains are you fixed in or do you have a growth mindset with? Because if you can take those domains where you have a growth mindset, you can start to apply those to those more fixed domains so that you can see how to grow in those fixed domains. And just wrote down a couple general ones that I think a lot about here: health, movement, and relationships. Those are three big pillars in everybody's life. So think about where you're either growth or fixed there so you can start moving more towards taking the things that you do well with the growth part of those different domains and applying it to the fixed ones. So having a growth mindset about your growth mindset. Now, I didn't just repeat myself there. What I'm saying is all the rest of these are going to fall into the category of you have to think that you can grow in these different areas. You have to be open to the possibility that things are going to be hard, and you got to take those failures as lessons and all the things we're going to talk about here. So having that growth mindset, think back to when you first started doing something. Maybe it was in your career, something you're really good at now, and you probably sucked at it, and you probably thought, I'm pretty good. Look how good I'm doing. And then you learned later, like, wow, I'm really an idiot when it came to that. And I didn't know crap about it, but look how I learned. And look for the things that you did well or the things you sought out to get better at. And, what made this possible? What were the setbacks you went through going through that part of your development towards it? And then what was your thought patterns? Like, what did you think, like, oh, well, I just screwed that up again. So what? Or did you get focused about that? And then you went and learned about that certain thing and you got better at it. And then you sought out those tougher things, tougher cases, tougher programs, whatever it was, so that you would get even better at it when you started focusing on it. That's a big way to look at how to be more growth mindset in these different domains that you maybe struggle with being a little more fixed. And then you definitely have to think about it this way, and this is something I talk to people about all the time when it comes to their health and their nutrition, is you have to focus on your effort versus your talent. It's the process versus the outcome. If you start to develop good processes in your life, this means you're starting to change the habits in your lifestyle, and those are all leading you towards a healthier lifestyle. It's getting a certain amount of sleep. It's eating fruits and vegetables, more vegetables and fruits, getting in your proteins. It's moving. It's doing all these things. All these little pieces start to add up, and it becomes the process, and that leads to a healthier lifestyle. Don't just focus on the outcome all the time. I have to get to this certain weight, and if I don't fit into these clothes, then everything I'm doing is a complete failure. You can't have that long-term outcome thinking. It's the process. It's the everyday things. It's what you do, those little changes in your lifestyle. And then take these challenges as lessons. Maybe we talked about in the last video, man, food prepping is really hard and figuring out how much I'm eating is really challenging. But then you start to develop a good process for it and you put in more effort, and the effort becomes this kind of snowballing effect over time. And after 3 or 4 weeks, it's like, it's a piece of cake, man. I can figure out what I'm eating in less than 5 minutes the night before, have it all ready to go in 15 to 20 minutes. And then the next day is completely set up for me just nailing my nutrition and hitting my macros on a daily basis. So, you have to expect that you're going to make mistakes. And as long as you see that making a mistake is a chance to learn from what happened and what led to that mistake, then making mistakes is okay. That goes back to the old adage that, it's only a negative thing if you didn't learn from it. It's only a mistake if you didn't grow from it somehow. And then just learning from others. This is, again, surrounding yourself with those 5 people that you're closest to are the sum of who you are. And if you get around people that are successful in whatever you want to do, whether it's business or being healthy or being strong or being a triathlete or you name it, any of those things, you need to get around those people that are already there and they're doing those things, and you can start to learn from them because success leaves clues. And so you want to see the clues that these people are leaving behind. And then, I tried to cram a few more on here that I really thought were important. We're learning from others. And then we're also learning that you just got to do hard shit sometimes. I mean, you got to do things that are challenging and that maybe suck a little bit. And then you got to see, like, man, that was really hard to do. Maybe I'm not putting enough effort in this area, or look how I succeeded through that and it was really challenging. Whether it's a physical challenge or a mental challenge or an emotional challenge, you got to kind of challenge yourself to do some of the harder things that are going to make you successful in the long run. So that comes down to kind of having the mantra that if I can do something hard now, it's going to make it easier for things down the road. And if you can have that mindset going into it, then you're always going to be growing. You can be growing in any domain of your life, and you can continue to grow throughout your lifetime. All right, thanks for hanging in there. Like and subscribe to us. Hope to see you again next week, and have a great week.